Let's do a comparison of Fepi to QQQI on the max time frame. We'll look at other time frames. This is total return with dividends reinvested, I believe. Anyway, QQQI on the max time frame is up over 43%, whereas Fepi is only up 32.94%. Now let's look at a yearly on this, and they're neck and neck. They're real tight. Year to date, they're real tight. So the recovery on Fepi actually has surprised me substantially how it's recovered. It's neck and neck right there with QQQI since the April lows of this year. So do I love Fepi again? Whereas before I got rid of it, not really. And really, the reason why is because of that NAV erosion. Let's look at a total return chart, and I'll show what I'm talking about. Why I'm hesitant to get back into Fepi if I can find my damn chart. Oh, here we go. So let me bring up this little total return thing from dividendchannel.com, and I could plug in and do a comparison of both Fepi and compare it against QQQI. So type in Fepi to go to other, type in QQQI, hit chart 10K investment. So if you look at it, it's going to go by, this chart's going to go by the inception of the newest fund. So the comparison is fair in the lifetime of the newest fund, right? So in Fepi, the top part of this chart is with, I believe that's with dividends reinvested, the top part. It's basically the same thing, but you reinvest in dividends. The average analyzed total return for Fepi is 16.3%. The total return is 33.53%, as opposed to QQQI has an average annual total return of 21.08%, so it beat it out, and a total return of 44.02%, opposed to that 33.53% for Fepi. So it beat it in both categories as far as that. And if you look at the start price and the end price, you see that $55 for Fepi, basically $55.87. The end price is $45.90. So substantial NAV erosion. Look at that price, share price starting out for QQQI. It's $49.84. End price of $54.56. So no NAV erosion, actual share price gain, and a beat on total return and analyzed income. Now look at the bottom part is without dividends reinvested. You have an annual return of 12.39% for Fepi, as opposed for QQQI at over 18%. It's done really stellar. A total return for Fepi at 24.95%. QQQI is at 37.92%. QQQI on the longer time frame since the inception, I'm guessing, of Fepi, because I think Fepi's the newer fund. QQQI is smoking it. Okay. Now you could take, like I showed you the comparison, where you could look at the April lows, where Fepi has matched QQQI in total returns during that recovery period. So it is a tradable income ETF in that regard during deep pullbacks, and that'd probably be the only time I would trade it. As far as like investing it for long term at the height of the market, I wouldn't do it, because that NAV erosion is a real factor, and with NAV erosion comes a decay and erosion of your dividend income, because that your percentage that you're getting, your dividend yield that you're getting, is based on share price, right? So if you're getting 25%, you were originally getting 25% on $55.87. Now it's $45.90. So you're eroding your dividend. It's not growing. Whereas QQQI, whatever they're paying, though, it's significantly lower than 25%. I know that. But you look at the total return base and look at the fact that the share price is up from inception. And so that's important to me. And also the other factor I look at is yield on cost. I want to get in cheaper than what's the current share price in the market for any of my funds. So if the market is kind of lofty, topping out at all-time highs, I'm not going to keep buying something. I'm not going to be more than 50% allocated into something, even if it's QQQI. Instead, I'm going to hold cash or trade cash and options or something like that to build it up, and wait for a significant pullback or correction so I could average down my cost base and get in cheaper, because yield on cost is everything on your total return. You're going to smoke it, because my total return is better than this on QQQI because my share price is down around $48 a share, and currently it's up around 50. The share price of QQQI is around 54. So you could trade either one of these, and you can make money with either one of these. If you look at that chart, you see that growth on that chart. Yeah, QQQI is definitely beating on the long term, both in NAV stability and total returns. It's just smoking. So why would you want to be in a fund that's inferior? I could say, yeah, you can trade it and be successful, and you can see that the total return is net positive, but that decay in that NAV erosion is a real thing. If you had to cash out your money at some point, if the dividends weren't enough to sustain you and you had to cash out your holdings of Fepi, you'd be down if you cashed out at the wrong time, especially when there's a pullback. That could happen with any fund, but with QQQI, if you bought it in inception, then later on had to sell it at, let's say, the current share price, well, you're up on a share price plus on total return. I'd rather have a holding like that, to be perfectly honest. I'm not happy with saying I'm chasing 25% for the sake of my net asset value, for NAV erosion. I don't like it. I know everybody throws that around and says it's about total return. Well, I'm showing you on this chart, it is about total return for me too. But I got to have good NAV stability because that dividend yield is going to be based on my share price. All right, guys, be careful out there and be careful about chasing high yield.